Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you my weekly live paper crafting class here on Facebook and YouTube. It's Wednesday, January 29th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. So if you're watching during the live, I invite you to log in to your YouTube or Facebook account so that you can chime in on the live commenting. We have a moderator, just one moderator today. Trisha's on a break today, but Lisa is over on YouTube and she's here to monitor the comments and make sure that she answers questions as we go. So please welcome Lisa Marshall on YouTube. And on that note, please welcome everybody, right? This could be fun. So hello to all the newbies that are joining in on my channel or on my page today. I hope that you enjoy what I have to share and I hope that you stay. And thank you to all of you diehards that keep coming back. I appreciate you so much. You are so important to me and I value you and I'm going to get emotional. So anyways, thank you. Thank you for continuing to come back. Today I'm going to share 5 cards with you. These are cards that we did at my Silver Elite Retreat that was held on January 17th through the 19th weekend. So each year, I've been doing this for like the past 8 years now. Each year I try to spoil, and I hope they do feel spoiled. I spoil my Silver Elite Plus demonstrators in my team. They are invited to come with me to wherever we're going to gather. In the last 2 years, it's been at my house actually. And so we get together and we craft and we laugh and we eat and we stamp and we talk and we network and we get ideas with gather ideas with each other and help each other out. We pamper. It's just so much fun. So I am blessed to have these people in my life and I love spoiling them. So we did some make and takes. This is the first set of make and takes that I'm going to share with you today. Most of them are fun fold cards, just unique. They're not like the typical open and shut kind of card, right? They have some kind of cut that's different than a regular card. And then one of them is interactive. We're going to start with the interactive one first. Now, interactive versus fun fold basically means that you have to do something to it to get it to react, right? So this is a faker shaker, so that would be considered an interactive card. We're gonna work on that one first, and I do have to tell you that I do not have a PDF for you to print off today, and I apologize, but we have 5 cards and I just couldn't figure out how to fit them all in. So instead, the blog post that is going to be connected to this video, and the link is already in the YouTube description, that will lead you at 12:15 p.m., so a little over an hour. You'll be able to go to my blog and you'll be able to see measurements for all of those cards, the base measurements, and then you'll be able to see photos of everything. Plus, you'll be able to see photos of the renditions or the versions that my Silver Elite demonstrators created. So some of them they copied exactly, so we didn't take photos of those. But if they did something slightly different than the ones that I'm sharing today, then I have photos of those cards that you can see. So you're actually going to get tons more ideas than just the 5 that I'm sharing. So on that note, do you see this mini catalog? It is one of our newer publications. It started in January 7th. And the cover already features the suite that I'm going to be showing you. This is one of the biggest suites in the catalog and it's amazing. It's called Wildflower Birthday. Not only is it shown in the catalog on the pages where the products are shown, but even in another spread in the catalog. Here it is on pages 20 and 21. You can see even more creative inspiration with products from that suite. So we're going to be diving into that suite. Again, it's called Wildflower Birthday. You may have noticed that I switched where my head is. I moved it because when we did our YouTube members only live this past weekend, we played around with it and we thought, you know what, let's just try it. So everyone agreed that we could try it in the upper left-hand corner and see if that makes a difference for comments that scroll on TV screens or, however your device is showing things. So hopefully the upper left-hand corner will work for everybody, and then I can train myself to get used to it, where I'm trying to tip things down so that it's not underneath my little screen there. So Good morning and good afternoon and even good evening to all of you who are watching. It's so fun to see your comments roll in, you guys. Thank you so much. So here we have some beautiful samples. Here we have the products. And then on the next pages, we have even more samples. It's crazy how much inspiration you can gain from this publication. If you do not have a demonstrator, you're not a demonstrator yourself, and you live in the US, please reach out to me. There is a link again in the description of my YouTube video. I will transfer that description over to Facebook, and you'll be able to go over to requesting catalogs on my website. There's a little link there. So I'm going to be featuring today the stamp set, the dies, the dots, so these are called party dots, and then the gold open weave trim, and also the beautiful paper. So pretty much everything in the suite. Let's start with our first card. And what we need to do is we need to cut apart, I should say, some of the designer paper. This is one of the unique sheets that's in the designer paper pack. It comes with all these little tag pieces or card layer pieces. And then the back side of that is printed, but most people aren't using that. Just kidding. I don't know, maybe people are, but I just love the little tag pieces. And then we have this paper, which has really pretty cakes, and everything's got kind of gold foiling on one side, stripes on the other one for that one. Here we have a layer that looks like lots of random little flowers, and on the back side is some soft sea foam, kind of a little dash dot look. Then we have the pool party with the kind of a scallop little striping there. And then on the back side of that are some soft sea foam leaves. And then the next sheet, and there are 6 different style sheets in here, by the way. The next sheet is more flowers and gold foiling leaves. And then the back side is kind of a pink gingham. All right, so we've gone through 5. And then this is the last one. This one here, and I have little parts and pieces from other pages in here, but this is a little sheet, and you get 2 of them of like ephemera, right? Little paper pieces that you can put onto your cards. So I'm going to start with the sheet that has these tag-like pieces in it. And we'll move the other products out of the way. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm going to cut through where I see a straight line. So here's one straight line. Here's another straight line, but it runs into a tag, so I don't want to cut there first. I'm going to cut here first. So I'm just positioning the channel of my trimmer, you can see the top and bottom, with where that separation of the images begins. And there we have one piece, which we're actually going to use next. So I'm going to set that aside. And now you can see more straight divisions, and we'll go ahead and cut, making sure everything's lined up in the channel of the trimmer. And then we are going to use this piece right now. So I'm just going to cut that, set these over here. I already have some supplies that were prepared for our event. And so I can just pull those out for now. And I think the one that we are going to use is this one here. So I'm going to take that. It has a cellophane bag in it. That's what we need for the Faker Shaker. All right, we have everything from there. Now we need to cut a few more pieces. So we have our basic white card base, and our basic white card base measures 5.5 inches tall by 8.5 inches in this direction, and it's scored in the middle at 4.25 inches. Grab my bone folder, give that a good crease. Okay, so that's how our card is going to open. This is going to be a tool basically for the front. And then we need to have a couple other, actually one more layer. So I will grab this decorative piece of paper here, and I'm going to cut that down to 4 by 5.25. So it's 1/4 inch shorter in each direction to become a card layer on the card, which will sit right here. So let's go ahead and stick that on. We can add that now, and I'll use my seal adhesive. You could use multi-purpose liquid glue, whatever is comfortable for your crafting. And we'll lay that right in this spot so that we see 1/8 inch of white around all of the 4 edges, okay? Glad you could show up. Those of you that are coming in late, that's totally fine. We're just getting started, and I'm a little far away here. I'm gonna zoom in again. I think I zoomed out because of the paper. So here we have a simple, pretty card. but we're going to add a layer on top. And for that layer, we're going to take this piece here and we're going to insert it into our cellophane envelope or our clear medium envelope. So this is a product that you can actually purchase in the online store. Some people use it to mail cards. You just want to make sure that if you're going to put a card in here, that you address it as well. Like on the back side, you can insert a piece of paper that has the addresses. Make sure that the addresses are either stuck on the envelope or tucked on the inside. And then you do have to put your postage on the outside so that it can get canceled. And so that's the way it works. I've mailed many cards with the clear envelopes. It's just a fun, pretty way for cards to come through the mail. I'm jealous, Peggy. So Peggy has her cat sitting on her lap. All right, the next thing that we're going to do, I want a cat, you guys. We had a cat for a while, but it came to us as a foster cat. And then we had to give it away because it kept going outside. And I guess in Andover, Minnesota, you cannot have outdoor cats. So it was a tough lesson to learn. Okay, we're going to fold that like that so that it has a nice little crisp crease. And then I'm going to use my seal adhesive again. And I'm going to slather this back side here so that this will tack down nice and firm like that. And now we have a skinnier envelope and everything's nice and tight in there. I want to do that step first because when I add the little sprinkly parts to make this a faker shaker card, I don't want them to be loose and get to the back side. So we want to make sure that this is sealed down first. Now we're going to bring in the Itty Bitty Bokeh Mix, and this is from another suite in the catalog that has butterflies. Have to have that one too. I have it and I haven't played with it yet. I'm actually jealous of everybody who has because I can't wait to play with it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use kind of like a little scooping mechanism here. I do have spoons, but I don't have them with me. But we're going to just scoop in a few of these little sprinkles into the front. Try to get them into the front. Tucking that down there. All right, we had a few that went to the back side because Rachel didn't use her spoon. But there you have the idea. You want to put little sprinkles in there. Now there are some gems in here in this mix that do have more of a 3D kind of look or feel even. They look like this. So they're not as flat as like the sequins. They have a bump or a curvature to them. So if that bugs you, you can weed those out. I'm going to leave them in. I think it's totally fine. All right, so I think, do I have enough sequins in here? Sure, why not? No, I'm going to add more. But this time I'm going to fold this in half because I think my spoon, my scooper was a little too big. Let's try this again. Scoop. There. All right, now we're going to close this up and we're going to seal up the top. Have you guys made faker shakers before? Chime in if you have, because this is one of the easiest ways to make a shaker card. And this is what I mean by shaker, is when the person receives it, they can actually shake it and all these little fun pieces in here are going to move around. Now we'll take and bend this portion of the cellophane or clear envelope and we're going to crease it again just to make sure that it's nice and crisp and it holds down well. And then I'm going to take this adhesive, kind of this little protective film off. This is where, here, I'll do it this way. This is how you seal those clear envelopes. So pull that piece off and we're going to fold it. And that way, those are stuck together. And now we'll add more seal adhesive to make sure that it's really, really bonded to the back. One more thing that will help kind of reinforce this is just making sure that everything's kind of taped in place by adding a little bit of, just transparent tape. You could use tear and tape, something to just make sure that those pieces don't peel back up, although I don't think they will. You need easy, Deborah? I love it. So upper left is great. Okay, good, good. I'm glad that that's working for you, Gwen. Thank you so much. All right, so now we have the shaker part. Okay, if a few get on the back side, it's okay as long as they're not the bumpy ones, okay? Now, what we can do here is add this with dimensionals, which is what I did on my original. And that just gives it an extra little shadow or lift. And all of my dimensional sheets are starting to be used up here. So I'm going to add one in each corner. This is a super quick and easy card. I totally recommend shaker cards. They bring joy and delight to the person who is getting the card. The recipient is going to just have a big, huge smile on their face. You could put this on straight, you could tilt it. I'm gonna give it a slight tilt to just duplicate what I did on my last card. And then the last thing that I wanna add is a little sentiment here. Actually, I have two things left to add, but on the front, we're gonna add a sentiment. Now we have a couple ephemera packs that I recommend for doing a quick type of addition of some wording for your cards and projects. Greetings for all, mix and match. This one comes with black print on white background or white print on black background. And then this other one is called Saying Something Ephemera Pack. And they all have white backgrounds, but they have like different coloring for all the different sentiments in here. So we're just gonna grab a sentiment. I'll grab the Forever and Ever one because it has some pink in it. And there are several more sheets in there too. I just don't have the time to pull them all out, but you'll want to check them out. They are linked in the products in my description of the video right now on YouTube. Okay, we're going to take and add more dimensionals on the back side. And this time I think I'm going to add a couple of these narrower ones. I could cut the other ones like in half so that I have smaller sizes, but I'm going to add just a couple through here, maybe 3 of them. Okay, so I've got my mini dimensionals on here. I'll peel off the backings. And there's a little extra spot here where I didn't add a dimensional because what I'm doing now is I'm adding dimensionals on top of something that's already raised up. So if I have something over here, it's going to kind of pull down towards the flat surface of the card here, and I don't want that to happen. When I add this, I am going to add it so that I'm looking at the bottom portion of my card or the top or whatever. I'm trying to make it parallel to that rather than parallel to my cake layers. And there we have our sentiment, Forever and Ever. And then on the inside of the card, I'm going to grab from that ephemera that's actually in the paper pack. This is the Wildflower Birthday ephemera from that paper pack. And we will use, let's use this slice of cake. Okay. And we could add that again, either with the seal, or I could come in with my multi-purpose liquid glue, which I have in this really fun holder. So when you have your Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue in a holder like this, it helps to keep your glue fresh and at the end ready to go. Isn't that the cutest little holder? I think this is the glue that wasn't working the last time I did a live. Hang on. All right, Rachel's gonna get a new glue. Give me just a second. Here's one. Okay, there we go. I think that one is all used up. Maybe that's why I can't get anything to come out of it. Got just a little bit on the back, not too much, and then we're just gonna add that right in the center of our card so that the bottom edge of the cake slice is parallel to the bottom of the card. Okay, there is our cake that was cut from that or a cake slice that was cut from that beautiful, beautiful cake. Here's the other version. You can see I made them pretty much identical, but there's the inside and there's the outside. So there's one of the 5 cards that we made. Let me show you another one. This other one is a fun fold. Now this one is a unique fun fold in that I'm not taking and doing anything with the cardstock. I'm doing something with one of the pieces in the kit. So we're gonna take this slice of paper and we're going to cut into all of these white triangles here so that we're removing them from the layer. We're making these look like actual tags. And if you cut them all separately, you would of course have tags ready to go. As it was, I did not use these tags separately. I thought it would be fun to do an accordion type card. So we're going to use our trimmer again with our scoring blade, or you could use the Simply Scored tool, some kind of tool, maybe the back of a butter knife and a cushiony mat or something. But we're going to emphasize all the separations now. So I will take my trimmer And this time I'm going to line it up so that I have this separation of the top and the bottom portion of the tags going right through there. Actually, nope, I'm not doing that one. Sorry, I was thinking something else. Okay, I'm going to actually do my scores through the separations of the tags. So we'll take and line up all those tags, score. Yeah, I was thinking of a completely different project all of a sudden. Does your mind ever do that, you guys? You just have too much on your mind and it starts to wander. And we'll lift that one up to C, and there it is. Okay, so then you can accordion it back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tags sitting on top of each other. And I think it's helpful if you do kind of one fold at a time so that you're making sure that everything's staying lined up. So we're gonna kind of go a little bit slower now. And oops, and we will fold. And then we're going to fold again. We're watching all of those edges so that they line up, so they meet up with each other. And the last one. This one I might have to pull it towards itself just a little bit and press it down. There we go. Okay, so now we have all of our tags lined up and they look like just one tag when they're stacked like this. I have a tool called the Crop-A-Dial. It's something that Stampin' Up used to carry. I now have a link to it in my online store, my favorite extras, I should say. So if you go to my website at stampyourartout.com, you click on the shop tab, and then you go to my favorite extras, you're gonna find a link to accessing the Crop-A-Dial on Amazon. So there we go. Now we have tags in all of those pieces. Or you can just cut each one separately with a regular hole punch. We now need to bring in some twine. And I think I've already got my twine cut. Yes, I do. Okay, so we're gonna be using some fancy twine. It's actually called thread. It's this is our twisted thread. It's our gold twisted thread. It's a fairly new product. So we'll be using that. And we'll be using some of the white twine from the Baker's Twine collection, which actually has 5 different colors in it. I've already cut the pieces. They're about 7 inches, I want to say, in length. Yes, 7 inches in length. We'll take 2 ends of one, if I can get my fingers to work, 2 ends, and we're going to go from the back to the front through one of the holes. And then we're going to grab onto those 2 ends and pull them back up through the hole so that we have a look like this. We'll do the same thing with this gold thread, gold twisted thread. And that will look like that. So I did those on both of the gold foiled ended tags, okay? Now for these, same thing, but these go on the non-gold foiled tags. Does that make sense? It is a great hole punch. I totally agree with you, Nancy. It's something that I think a lot of paper crafters, if you do a lot of paper crafting, oops, got to even out the ends again, would definitely benefit from. 3D projects sometimes require having, being punched through thick layers. So you can punch through several layers. You can punch through thick pieces like cardstock, not cardstock, chipboard is what I was thinking. Leather. You can punch through a lot of things with the Crop-A-Dial. It also allows for you to do eyelet setting, which we haven't seen around, at least with Stampin' Up products lately. But there are eyelets that you can set with the Crop-A-Dial. It's a great tool. Can you use it with wrist pain? That's a great question. It depends on where your wrist pain is, I'm guessing, but it's not difficult for me to, it feels kind of like a regular punch. You could probably take both hands and do this, but you don't have the ability to have it against like a table and keep it steady, I would guess. So it might be more difficult in that aspect because you have to use both sides of your hand. Carpal tunnel, yeah, maybe not. I'm not sure. It depends on how severe your pain is. Okay, so now we have that done. We're gonna keep that together and intact and pull out the other pieces. And actually I just have one other piece from that packet too. So this is a quarter sheet of blueberry bushel cardstock. Such a great color. In fact, that is the ink color that we also use throughout the other 3 cards that you're going to be seeing. Blueberry bushel, blueberry bushel. It's the deepest color that is in this card, this designer paper pack. Okay, so you can see it right here. Now let's grab another one of those ephemera pieces from our paper pack, and that is going to be this one here. But you can see how super long it is. So I'm going to show you something that you could do. So I wanted a little bouquet of flowers to come out from the side when I had my layer, my little accordion layer right here. But look at all this wasted stuff here. This is actually a great piece that you could put with another grouping of flowers from the ephemera pack. So I cut that off on my original one too, since it's not going to be seen. So I'm going to take and put that back over with my ephemera so I can use it later on. The favorites are the blues, right, Lisa? Okay, I love it. So now when I add this, I sort of want like a little shadow under there without having to create too much inky mess, like maybe using I don't know, you could use like a blending brush and blend some color on here so that it created a deeper tone underneath. But instead I decided, instead of doing that, I'm just going to lift it with dimensionals. So we're going to take tiny little dimensionals again and put those on some of the ends of these pieces. And then we'll grab our other ones to cover more surface, and we'll put some more in here. And I'm putting them on the outer areas of the bouquet. So I'm not going all the way in here. In fact, I'm going to put a little seal adhesive there so that that stays tacked down, but it's not going to be lifted up because it's going to be underneath the tags. So we'll take the dimensionals off this side. And I probably didn't need to have that many, but I don't know. I'm hanging around Nancy too much. She was at the retreat. Nancy Forsberg, Kayla Corey, V-Tran, and Cheryl Lee were all there. Okay, so there we have, yep, they're all looking shiny, so they're sticky and ready to go. And I'm just going to add that like so. So now we have that shadowed look over here. It has like a little bit of deeper color when you look at this side, and this is nice and flat so that we can add our back tag flat and directly to the surface of our card. Don't worry about the twine. Of course, you don't want it to be underneath, but don't worry about the twine because you can tuck that into your envelope later. Okay, so now we just need some words. And again, I'm going to go to my ephemera pack because my ephemera is quick and easy. So we're going to grab some of these pieces here. Now I'm not going to be able to do the exact same ones because I think with having only one pack that those might have been taken, but let's just do one like this, sending hugs and XOXO. So you'll have 2 different versions, one if you watch the video and the other one if you're just looking at the blog post. All right, so here we go. Sending hugs, we'll put that on the front, and I think I'm going to lift that up with dimensionals. So we'll set one in the middle, and then we'll take a couple small ones again to make sure that these ends stay lifted. I love dimensionals. They are one of the best adhesives because again, they create shadow with you without you having to, cut extra layers of stuff or ink too much. So now we have our sending hugs on there. And for this one, since it's going to be on the inside, I'm just going to put, and I think because it's a little narrow, I'm going to use my glue again and just do a little swipe of glue across there. This is from the Country Hive, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they're having a sale coming up on February 1st. So on 2/1, they're going to have a sale that is 2, buy 1 or buy 2, and then you're going to get 1 for $1. And they have a whole bunch of different kinds of these special Tombow glue holders. This is the Valentine-y one, XOXO. Here's a cupcake. Here's a snowflake. Gosh, I have even more. I have a whole bucket full because I'm collecting them. I have a sunflower, a little purse, a Christmas tree, an Easter egg, an ornament, a pumpkin. So on 2-1, buy 2, get 1 for $1. Isn't that fun? And it's a 1-day only sale. Ashley told me I could share that today, so that's what I'm doing. Mark your calendars. All right, so we have our XOXO on there, and our card is complete. Now you could add some sparkle in there, but it's got so much gold foiling on it, you guys, that you really don't need to do that. But you could, you know, if you really want to bling it up, like Bling Bling Crafter, right? Here we go. So we have a thinking of you or a sending hugs. Same card, but I just changed the sentiment. So the other one was thinking of you and happy birthday. All right. So there is the second card idea. And then the third card idea, let's see here. That is from this pack. And you'll want to invest in envelopes. I know that I forget to mention these often, but envelopes are needed for sending or giving your cards, right? So make sure that you're always stocking up on your basic white envelopes or your clear ones. All right, so here we have some pieces that I had pre-cut for the third card. Now I'm not going to walk you through every single one of these cards because that would take probably 2 hours, but I do have measurements for you that I want to share. So we'll get our Victor ruler out here. This is 1.5 by 5 inches. And that piece is going to go on the inside for putting sentiments on. This is a scrap, so it can be really all different sizes or whatever. And you're going to use the dies that come with that suite. This die is the one I reached for, and I cut into my scraps that I just had a little bit, probably half of it, cut out. Okay, I cut out half of that image, and then I stamped on it because our stamps are photopolymer. That means that you can see through them. All of them are clear stamps, and I used the Hooray stamp with the Blueberry Bushel ink. So after cutting out that little half tag and stamping it, then I cut my card base, and I'll demonstrate that. Oops, I'm pulling all the paper down. All the paper is going. Okay, so for this, because this isn't explained in my blog post, again, if you want to see the blog post, it's going to go live at 12:15 p.m. Central Time, which is in about 40 minutes or so. So here is how the card opens. It's going to open like this, and we're going to cut halfway down the crease here, and then we're going to cut in this way. So if this is 4 1/4, we're going to cut 2 1/8 inches down. So we're going right on that score line. We're going to start our blade at 2 1/8 inch. Now, at this point, I know that there's going to be a lot of you commenting saying, Rachel, you should get one of those white strips to stick underneath your trimmer here. But here is the problem with that, just in case you haven't figured that out yet. If you put a little white line of paper here, you're gonna have a portion that you can't see through. So when you're cutting tinier pieces or whatever, you're not gonna be able to see the measurements that are underneath those. So I don't do that, I just temporarily add something white or lighter so I can read where I'm going. So I'm gonna set my cutting blade right at the 2 1/8 inch mark. So it's right about there. This is where it's going to cut, and I'm going to push forward. Now I've got that slit halfway down. I'm going to turn it and position my cardstock at 2 1/8 inches. Here's 2 1/8. I'm going to lay that in here like that, and I'm going to start my blade right at that score line. We'll move this so you can see. Okay, so it's at 2 1/8 all the way down, and I'm going to pull in this direction. This is something that you can use on another project, but here is the front and the inside of the card. It has kind of like a half door on it. The next step would be to add a layer of designer paper here and designer paper here, stamp and add this piece in over the top, because this is going to be more like a display piece. And I'm going to show you the piece that I pulled from the ephemera for that card. That would be a great one if you wanted to make use of, sorry, we have quite the mess here, you guys. If you wanted to make use of that stem that we just cut off, this one here, you could take and add it to a bouquet like that if you wanted to. Let's say you wanted an instant bouquet. But it is an aerial view, so you wouldn't have to do that. I'm just going to add it into the card like that. But you also have all these other pieces in here. You have some pieces like this, or you even have these bigger flowers that you could build up with some of the bigger leaves. So you could take and build a bouquet with those stems that you cut off. I just want to show you where my thoughts were on that. This piece goes against the back. And we did that same trick. I'm going to show you the finished card in a second here. But the same trick where you take and you put dimensionals on the top, but seal or Tombow glue on the bottom so that it tilts up just slightly. Because this, again, is on the inside of the card when the card closes, and this is not. It's going to close like this. So I was creating a little bit of a shadow by having this portion lifted up. On the front is where that half tag sits, and it goes over this product. This is our open weave gold mesh ribbon, or what's it called? Trim. So gold open weave trim, and it's very mesh-like, and I used 5 inches of it, cut it, right before the blue ended here, stuck this tag on top of it to hold it in place, kept it nice and flat, but then I also used the party dots. So these are the party dots. This is the other product that you can get to go with the suite. It comes in lots of fun colors. I believe this is peach pie and pool party and pretty in pink, I want to say. Anyways, you can take and stick those here and there too, and that will help to hold the threads of the mesh down. And this is the finished result from that card. So it looks like this with lots of fun party dots going around. I think I lost a blue one because I think I had a blue one over there. Anyways, then this is stuck down flat. It's stamped with the Hooray from the stamp set. And then we have the inside. And typically when I do a fun fold like this, I've usually taken this area here, and that's where I've added my sentiments, or where you're going to sign your card, right? So it's kind of like a white portion here or whatever, and then the design is just on top. But I got inspired by a swap card from Rose Carey, who is a demonstrator in our group. She did a similar type of card. I don't have it with me, but the same idea where when you open this, this is the full design. And then on this side is where you do your writing. I was really excited about that thought, and so that's what I did with this card. Now you can shift this stamping, the For Your Day, into different areas if you want to have lots of room to write or sign your name, or you could even add like a white layer on the back side if you want to do a lot of writing. So the gold mesh is exciting. I agree with you. Yes. Okay, so we're going to wind that gold mesh up though. We're going to clean this up just a little bit so that we have space for the next card. All right, let's take a break from the cards for just a second, because I have a feeling that while I'm piling things up over here, I'm going to start hiding this fun box. This is a box that I got from Stampin' Up, and it looked different before I decorated it. So it's a box that Stampin' Up sends to demonstrators when they achieve milestones, whether it's sales milestones or anniversaries. We call them stamp-iversaries for fun, that sort of thing. I think even if you are maybe promoting, they put a pin in a box like this, but they send you special pins for your achievements, okay? And so I had a few of these laying around. They come with foam on the inside. You can see the foam is here too. Try not to open it up all the way yet. Can you see the foam there? There's foam. Okay, that's what the pin sits on. So I took and I put designer paper wrappings around, and I tucked in underneath. So there's this little area where there's like another cardboard layer in here. So I tucked in the paper on those 3 sides. This was the design on the box as it came. And I just wrapped like the lower portion of it, added a die cut circle from the Spotlight on Nature dies, stamped it again with the Blueberry Bushel ink, and then used some of the pretty ephemera from that designer paper pack. On the inside, ta-da, that's where they got their D-size blocks that were etched. I had Tamara Davis from Ta-Da Moments once again etched the blocks for me. She does a nice job. So she took and put the printing, or the etching, I should say, onto all of our blocks. The insert here has some blueberry bushel cardstock on the back side so that when the block is sitting inside here, it really shows off the wording. And then this is also a layer from that paper put over the words so that it covered up some things that had to do with Stampin' Up, but not with the retreat. So I hope that you like that idea, especially if you are a demonstrator who's got a few of those boxes saved up. Now you can use them for gifting now that you've seen that idea. Okay, the fourth card. The fourth card was created with a 4 1/4 by 11 inch sheet of cardstock. Okay, same color. Blueberry bushel. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Patricia. Okay, and so I've scored it in 2 different directions. I have a score line here at 4 1/2, I believe. Hang on. Yep, 4 1/2. And then this one's at 3 3/4. 3 3/4? 3 3/4. I hope that's what I put in my blog post. All of a sudden I'm thinking, do I have 3 1/4 on there? Anyways, let's try it. So you're going to fold in one direction, fold in the other direction. So it's like a Z fold, but it's going to be vertical. Okay, so it sits like this and folds open like that. Yes, I believe that's correct. The measurements, 3 3/4. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so this piece here is going to get decorated with one of those fun tags. So I'm going to pull in that paper pack again, and we're going to weed through here. Here it is. We didn't have to go too far. Do you see this? This piece is one that I want right now. So I'm going to cut the long line here like that. And then I'm going to trim on the 2 sides, the top and the bottom of it, to separate that piece. We might as well separate one other piece while we're here, because that is for my last card. So we'll just cut this one and pull it aside. We made use of these layers. We did. Okay, so this piece here is on the bottom of the card, and I stamped it and then stuck it down like that. So it has 1/8 of an inch of blue on top, and on the bottom I trimmed it here. And then this portion here you could cover with designer paper. If you were going to cover it with designer paper, then you'd probably want to have a piece that is 2 1/2 inches tall by 4 inches wide, because I made this one, I'm sorry, 4 1/4, because I made this one 4 1/4 inches wide. I brought it right to the edge. And then the top one is cut from the designer paper. And I wanted to use something that had some gold in it, but wasn't real loud. So I thought this one would work. So I cut a portion from there that was 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Then I grabbed some matching imagery from the ephemera again. So the balloons matched the balloons, and I stuck those on with dimensionals, and I put together this card. So it closes like this, and it opens like that, okay? So this layer, even though it's 5 1/4 inches, it's not adhered down here. No, there's no tape on this section here. It just is long enough to cover this portion here, because you don't want to see the inside of the card when it's closed. You want it to look like it's just a regular full card, right? So this is up on dimensionals. This is on that layer that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. And when open, it reveals all the other fun layers. Again, you could take some designer paper and put that in here, but what I decided to do instead was make use of more of the stamps. We have a banner stamp that's in this set, so I stamped that a couple times in the blueberry bushel ink on blueberry bushel. And then this piece here is from that ephemera once again. Actually, I used it up. I used it up because I made a mistake. In fact, I want to show you that mistake piece. Here it is. Do you see that there's bumps on there? I was even trying to peel it up. I added this one, which is a really thin feeling foil piece, with the glue. I wouldn't recommend glue for this because it caused kind of a little bumble of, like a bump there, okay? There's a tiny little bump under those pieces. And no matter how long it dried, it still had a bump. So the second one that I used in the pack, I put on with the flat seal, and you can't even tell that there's any kind of adhesive back there. Do you see the little decorations? Those are from some fun embellishments that I have had a hard time figuring out how to use until this suite. This suite is so amazing in so many ways, and it goes so well, whoops, with these dots. So these dots, you get 5 colors, kind of a greenish color, a whitish one, a bluish, a red, and a pink, or a fuchsia-ish one. They're called iridescent adhesive back discs. They lie flat. We always love embellishments that lie flat. Thanks, Cindy. You're so sweet. So that is kind of an extension or stretch type of Z-fold card. The last one, remember I told you, uses this piece. So for that one, let me pull out the envelope. You're gonna have some extra little pieces besides what you would pull from the papers. So my Silver Elite people got a 7.5 by 3¼ inch piece of blueberry bushel with the score line already through it, halfway at 3¼ inches. This is a 3 by 3 piece, and so I wanted it to stand out. So I cut a piece of foil that's right in between those sizes. This is 3⅛ by 3⅛, and it was stuck down like this on the card. Because that's a lot of foil, I decided to use the dies again. Where are they? Here they are. And you can take and die cut, I don't know, little pom-pommy things or flowers or banners or whatever, but I used the numbers and cut out from this center of the piece and then stuck this on top to hide the holes that I had created. I also gave them a piece of white that was the same size as the foil that they could stamp on the inside of the card, so that would go there. And then they got a scrap of white so that they could use the tiny little tag if they wanted to and use the stamps st or nd or erd or th. And so these ordinal, I don't remember what they're called. Anyways, these little guys here could go after the numbers. So you could have first, second, third, fourth, you know what I mean? And I'll show you the end result. It's one of the simplest cards. In fact, it was the first one that we did when we were creating together at the Silver Elite Retreat. So we got together Friday, unpacked, I gifted them things, and then we started creating after dinner and made all 5 of these cards. So this is the 5th one, and it's got a little mini card on the front. So first, happy birthday, yay. So it's a great, I decided to make mine like for a little baby. So we have that one, we have this one, we have that style card, we have this stretch card. Fun, fun, fun. Are they going behind my head? They are. Sorry. Let's see if I can zoom out a bit. And we have the shakers. Shakers, shakers, shakers. Fun, fun, fun. Where can I stick this one? Over here, maybe? Ta-da! Lots, lots, lots. Just from 1 pack of paper and some white and blueberry bushel cardstock, a little bit of gold foiling, cellophane bags. Yeah, we had a blast. I hope you got some creative inspiration from all of these fun fold and interactive cards. We are gonna do some prize drawing. So if you've been commenting during the video, like so many of you have, thank you so much, then you're going to be entered into a drawing. And Lisa is working on picking names, but first I'm gonna bring in the prizes that we had from last time and call out winners from the After Live. So last week we did alternates with the paper pumpkin kit from February. So on February, like the day before I had to do the alternates, I received my kit. So thankfully, Nancy and Kayla, who live close by, loaned me one of their kits, and I worked on some alternates and shared them in last Wednesday's video. I have a winner from YouTube and I have a winner from Facebook, and I'm going to show you them. Let me first tell you though that those winners, and I'm going to make sure I'm correct on this by pulling up my, yes, okay, envelopes and embellishments. So the winners could pick from a packet of embellishments, and then they would also get a packet of basic white medium envelopes mailed to them. So this is what I have left. Only one of the 2 live winners from last week reached out to me so far. Actually, no, both of them did, but there was an issue with, I don't know if she lived outside the US or whatever. If you live outside the US and your name is drawn, I can send you a tutorial through email. So there's still a way to win. Okay, so if your name gets called, if your name is showing up on my screen, that means that you are a winner. So congratulations to Jill Good 2217 from YouTube. You were my YouTube After Live commenter that had your name drawn. And then on Facebook, we had Janet Rose. So congratulations to Janet Rose and to Jill, Janet and Jill. So reach out to me, Janet and Jill, and make sure that you claim your prizes. And then for this week's prizes, I am pulling in my last pack of make and take supplies and a thing of fresh Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, since we featured all of those fun little holders. So that is one prize. If you're the first one of the lives that reaches out to me today, you get that. Otherwise, I have lots of goodies from Celebration. And Celebration is a special time. Let me grab the little brochure here. It's a special time of the year, which we are in right now. So beginning of January through the end of February, when you purchase in the US $60 worth of product, you get to pick something from here for free. And I have a plethora of goodies in here because I buy a lot. So I get to pick a lot of freebies and I have leftovers. So just know that I have kits, I have sequins, I have packs of designer paper. Here's another pack of designer paper. I have, what else do I have? I have the stamp set, Friendly Seagulls. So you can either pick the supplies and the glue, or you can pick one of my extra Celebration items that I just shared with you. So we're gonna have Lisa pick those winners, and I'm gonna click on my, oh, she did call them out, yay. Okay, so we have Denise Willerton and Lynn Kay. Congratulations. Lynn, you are lucky lately. Holy cow. I think she won just like 2 weeks ago or something, but congratulations to both of you. Denise, your name sounds familiar too, so congratulations. And I'm so happy, and thank you all for chiming in. So let's go back this way for just a second, because I do want to clear off my desk, and I'm going to present to you some samples that have been created recently that I want to talk about. All right, pulling them onto my desk. Hang on, I'm almost ready. Almost ready. So just in case you didn't think Celebration was that great, what's wrong with you? I'm gonna tease you with some samples. So there's a stamp set that has these fun little trees that you can do with different seasons or elements, like there's flowers you can put in the tree, hearts you can put in the tree. So there's that stamp set. Here's that seagull set. This was done by Karen Andrusik. I remember her explaining the card. Basically, she just cut off the legs and stuck them on this wavy embossed layer, so it makes them look like they're floating in the water. Isn't that cute? So there's that one. And then there's this one, which I believe came back. This is a level 2. It's free at a $120 order. It's stamps and dies. So I have lots of samples from that. Look at this fun card. Isn't that cute? It's like a little, it opens up like this so you can see like a little circle on the other side. Then this one here, really fun. It's kind of that same, well, not the same. I was gonna say it was a cupboard door, half cupboard door thing, but it's not. It's not the same kind of cut we had before. You've seen this one if you've been watching my lives, because we did a mystery stamping using this kind of fold. Here we've got the embossing folder features. So they have an embossing folder that you can get for free. And look at the images from that lovely stamp set, Layering Leaves. We have some beautiful designer paper, which is super, super hot. This is going like hotcakes. It's called Bloom Impressions. You'll want to get your hands on that. Here's more Bloom Impressions. The embossing folder again, more Bloom Impressions. Some beautiful samples here. Here we have the toadstool paper, and we have more of that paper. It actually coordinates with a stamp set in the mini catalog. More of that paper. This is Rose's card. There we go. There's Rose's card. Maybe that's why I couldn't find it, because it was on the stash of cards that I was going to share today. And then we have more of that paper. More of that paper. Check out this fun angled easel. Isn't that cute? If you have not seen these, you'll want to go back a few videos because I featured all of these cards, who made them. Okay, and then we have this one here with more of the paper, and this is the back side of the paper. So really fun ideas. We also have a special going on. Oh, wait, this one, got to show this one because there weren't a lot of people that sent in cards using the kit pieces. But if you haven't checked out my blog post, I showed how to take the cards in this pack. Looking at the time here. The cards in this pack and cut them up to double them to make different kinds of cards so you can get twice as many cards from your pack, your little kit here. That's a free kit with an order. And then there's a stamp set called Handmade Designs. You can pair it up with 2 bundles of markers, the Stampin' Right markers. So I've got the brights here. You could bundle it with like the regals and brights, subtles and brights, neutrals, whatever, or subtles and neutrals, whatever. But you get this stamp set and this if you decide to get the starter kit during celebration. So these are a couple cards done with that stamp set and with markers. Had to show it. Had to show it all because there's so much fun stuff right now. And if you are new to Stampin' Up, you may not know that there's this wonderful special going on. If you do not have a demonstrator or you're not a demonstrator yourself, then I invite you to shop through me. You can go to my website at stampyourartout.com, click on any shop button, and it will connect your order to me so that I can help you in the future with any issues you might have with it or questions you might have. If you were a winner today, then please reach out to me. I forgot to post this. Please reach out to me at my email address, which is stampyourartout@comcast.net. That email address is also within the description of the video, which I will transfer over to the Facebook video after the live is done. Thanks, Lynn. Yes, congratulations to the winners. And there is a bonus class. Thank you, Lisa, for pointing that out. In my blog post and actually on a featured post in my Facebook page. So if you are following me on Facebook, if you go to Facebook, click on, go to my page and start following it. There's a featured post there that now has a listing, which I think is so much easier on the eyes. And for me, it's easier to update. But it has a listing of my upcoming lives. And the next one will be this Friday. I am going to be tripling a kit. I'm going to be taking the new Beautiful Birthday, I think it's called. Something Birthday. I don't know. It's got candles and holographic foil on it. It's really fun. It was the other set of projects that we worked on at the Silver Elite Retreat. And I'm going to go ahead and show you some alternates that I did with that. You'll also be able to connect that to the blog post, which will have images or photos, I should say, of the versions that the other retreat goers did make. So lots of creative inspiration this week. I hope that you have fun watching. Make sure that you click on that blog post so that you can check out all the other ideas using the Wildflower Birthday. I think I've covered it all, Lisa. What do you think? And how did Lisa do? Congratulations, Lisa. Yay! I swear I saw her going back and forth too. I think her name was in blue once in a while, coming through on my end, showing that she was peeking in at Facebook too. So she was trying to do the job of 2. Thank you, Lisa. You're so sweet. And thank you all for coming. A big special thank you to my channel members. If you want to be a channel member, I do have a special live that we do each month towards the end of the month. And we just got done with one. You can become a channel member. And I believe you can, if you become a channel member, you can go back and watch those. So you want to be a supporter member, though, in order to watch those. And all of my channel members, even the fans at the low tier of 99 cents per month, all of my channel members get to have these fun emojis that they get to use during the lives. So if you've been seeing some comments come through or you're seeing their names stand out with a little rhinestone next to it, that's because they are supporting members of my channel, whether they're fans or supporters. So, all right, so January 31st, 10 a.m., brightest birthday kit, I found it. And then we have February 5th, which is the next one, next Wednesday. And I'm going to be featuring the Storybook Moments Suite with the All-Star Group. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm going to let you go now. So there we go. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.